Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance. And this resistance video is a sponsored video, being sponsored by Angel for Layla. And this is the same Layla from the recent video. The narcissist knows when you're done with them. Charlene told me I needed to read this right away. I asked her because I was doing something and my phone was sitting there. I heard the alert. She's like, "Oh, it's Layla." I'm like, "Oh, just look at what she said." And she's, you gotta read this. And I didn't get to it yesterday, and she came out today because I did an early video this morning, and I was gonna take the rest of the day off, waiting to get the channel remonetized, which it is, and I was gonna start again tomorrow. But Charlene's like, "You need to do this right now." So here we go. Thank you, Ollie, for the video, and Chiquita for sponsoring it. I'm writing you back to confirm the one thing you repeated several times throughout the video. The fact that my mother served me to the abusers on a silver platter and knew what was going on. The fact that you picked up on this without me mentioning the very one incident that took place in which she openly served me up to an abuser is shocking. I'm sure it happened more than once, but I mean, the behaviors are what the behaviors are. In 2011, when I was 27 years old, 27, my mother grew increasingly worried about the fact that I was not married yet. After all, she wanted me married at 18 years old. She kept pushing me to go to a Muslim spiritualist. This is extremely popular in Pakistan, India, and Africa, etc. She wanted me to go so he can figure out why I am not married yet if someone had done black magic on me. This was one common thread throughout my childhood, being told I am possessed by some demonic activity, hence why I am disobedient and want to leave home to get an education rather than get married and have a ton of kids. That's what the religion does. And it's not only Islam. I mean, there's sects of Catholicism and Judaism that do the same thing, and it's just about cultish control. So to squash this once and for all, I went with her. The Muslim spiritualist began reading some verses of the Quran over me and telling me someone has done severe black magic on me to block me from getting married and that I have a demon attached to me. In fact, I have several demons glued to different parts of my body. Oh my God. He will do some work on me immediately and contact me directly to take the next step. A few days later, he texted me and we spoke. He said I need to find a place for him to come over and spend a few hours to begin the process. I said, "You can come to my house." He said, "No, your father is not a religious man, and he will get angry." I said, "We can meet at the mosque." He said, "No. People are always walking in and out of the mosque, and we have an open door policy. We must keep the doors open when someone is there." This was a lie. I knew for a fact you can wait for lectures with the doors locked. Of course, pedophiles always have, not even pedophiles, rapists, whatever sexual fucking deviancy is going on here. The sexual cultism, we'll call it. I said we can meet at my cousin's house when they are in college. Their house will be empty. He said no. What I will be doing is essentially an exorcism on you. Your cousins are young girls that live near the woods. It wouldn't be safe for me to leave that residual energy in their home. Instead of all that, I'll tell you what to do. Book a hotel room for the day. I'll meet you there next Tuesday. So that leaves you a week to book it. Making you book your goddamn, was he making you book your rape? Jesus. At this point, I began to freak out. I told my mother what he said. We were out shopping, and she said, so what? Book it. I replied, a hotel room? You're telling me to go meet this man at a hotel room? She said, Layla, you suspect everyone. Oh, what a fucking cunt. So now she's going to try to feign concern. See, this is the thing, like with your mother. Not only is she serving you up, she's causing maximum damage and gaslighting you the entire way. It's sadistic. It really is. It's really sadistic. And it makes you wonder, within the religion, as much power as the men have, there are still women in that religion that are more powerful. That even though they're in the garb and, you know, they're more evil than the men, because they get even more pleasure out of oppressing women and hurting women than the men do. The same way, like a mean girl. Imagine a mean girl with the backing of some cultish Islamic sect. Think about that. You marry those two. That mean girl type, but under full Sharia type of Islam. That is sadistic. That is true sadism. That's true hatred of women. That woman. She said, Layla, you suspect everyone. This is a very pious and religious man. He has said several times that he sees you as his daughter, and if he wants to help you get married, why won't you accept his help? Why? And here's the other problem. They don't really want you to get married. They really, I don't think they really do, because if they did, they'd let you go out and leave. At 27 years old, your parents, okay, in modern 2017 or whatever year this happened, should your mother, this is none of their business at this point, except for in that religion, I suppose. She was inferring that I was hindering my own chances of getting married and not meeting with him, and that I truly didn't want to get married deep down. Ollie, for a whole week, I kept saying this is too weird. Something isn't right. She kept arguing that I was too suspicious. I should believe in people and not judge people. It's a sin to judge. She kept pushing me to trust him. And the night before I was supposed to meet him, she even told me she will pay for the hotel, everything I need. The spiritualist kept messaging me, trying to reassure me and build a bond, and I began doubting my own self at this point, thinking maybe it's because of my sexual and physical abuse that I doubt him. After all, this dude has hundreds of other young girls from the mosque who testify for him. So I booked a hotel room that Tuesday morning, a couple hours before he was supposed to meet me. Right after I booked it and was ready to go, my mom came running into the room saying, Layla, something doesn't feel right. Why is he telling you to meet him in a hotel room? Why is he insisting you come alone? This is the same shit I've been saying for a whole week, and now moments before I'm about to meet him, she has an epiphany. Right. So she can blame you either way. So if you go, she told you not to do it, even though she said it the whole time. And if you didn't go, it would be, you know what, you should have went. It was because of your craziness that got into my head, and it's your fault why you can't get married. I think there's probably even more to the story. There's more to the story to that as well. My mom called him and asked, "Can I please come with Layla? I will wait outside the hotel room for her." He said, "No, don't you trust me? What am I going to do with your daughter? I am a married man." He acted self-righteous and sanctimonious, going on a tirade at my mother for questioning his authority. She was pissed off at this point because he was no longer kissing her ass. Right, she might have thought she was going to get more at it. That was my other thought. That there was supposed to be, she had some other ulterior motive. Maybe that he was going to be your husband. So she was going to increase her wealth and expand the sexual cult. That could be the draw to have you get married as well. Because if you're not married, that means you're a problem. That means you're not down for all this fucking bullshit that's been going on. That's probably that's what they mean why it's a problem you're not married. It's a problem because you're going to talk and you're going to blow up their little friggin' cult thing they got going. And as I'm about to go to the hotel, she's now asking me, "Oh, are you sure about this?" Right, now putting it back on, making it your decision. I said it was your fucking idea, knowing full well everything's booked and the dude is waiting for me. And if I don't go later on, she will say, "See, if you had gone and gotten the exorcism done, you would be married now," and she would have proceeded to take me to some other spiritualist. Right. I was fucked either way. And the whole week she had been brainwashing me, telling me to trust him and do whatever I need to do to get married. I had her script running in my mind for days before this, to the point where I began questioning my own intuition, which is the entire point. So she can blame you either way. I went in immediately. I noticed from the corner of my eye, looking up at me, him looking up and down like a piece of meat. I got cold chills. I knew that look. I had seen it before. When I caught him, he immediately changed the topic and began bashing on my mom, saying how offended and hurt he was at her phone call being questioned like that. He began reading some verses of the Quran. In fact, he pulled the Quran out of a bag, asked me to lay down on the bed, and told me I needed to cover my eyes and not open them under any circumstances. He put a scarf over my eyes. What is this, 50 Shades of Islam? Holy shit. He's running 50 Shades of Islam here. He said he will be calling on jinns, entities from another realm, who will come in to perform this exorcism, and if I see them, I will not be able to unsee them. Oh. I didn't know what to do. I kept thinking, what the fuck have I gotten myself into? He told me to turn over on my stomach. He put his hands on my back and began reading Arabic prayers over me. And then what seemed like another hand covered in a cloth being swiped over my back. But upon reflection, I think it was his foot. He made it out like it was the hand of the jinn wiping my back. This carried on for hours. He even had me on my back, lifted up my top, and then began touching my breasts. I had been molested before. I was absolutely frozen and scared to even say anything. I didn't know what this guy was capable of. I also didn't know what else he had brought with him in his bag: a knife, a weapon, anything. He is very well known. He even comes on Islamic television channels. He will do anything to protect his reputation. Oh, so that explains what your mother was probably looking for. I realized at this point I was right all along. I should have never listened to my mother. He began kissing me in my body. I was literally frozen. When he noticed how uncomfortable and scared I was, he began talking to me, saying the jinns are telling him XYZ about me, that I was molested when I was younger, etc. Oh, gee, did you get that from my mother since I've been grown up in this, raised in this family? He's not telling you any, gee, the jinns told you that? No, I just know you people. The jinns, they all molesting their kids. You didn't need to be told. Ugh. Now I know why this upset Charlene. She was upset after reading this. My voice was shaky, and he knew I was scared. He said, "That's enough for today. We'll meet again next week and carry on from here." He got up, grabbed his Koran, and left. What a fucking hypocrite. Oh. I called my mom to tell her it was over. She came, and I told her what happened. I remember the look on her face as she asked for details. Like she was fascinated to know what had gone on and how my experience was. I was too ashamed to tell her the gory details of how he lifted my top and did everything after that. But upon reflection, I guess I also knew deep down she would revel in it and enjoy knowing that that had taken place. Of course, it's why she put you there. You were right, Ollie. She served me up on a platter to this man. Even at 19 years old, an uncle that gotten married into the family randomly began flirting and talking with via text message, asking what I thought of him, telling me that his wife, my mom's younger sister, keeps telling him to stay away from me, that I will end up fancying him, and he asked me if that was true. I thought, what the fuck? This dude is 1 year younger than my father. In fact, they went to the same school. One day he asked me if I was on the pill or if I would like condoms because he has a nursery that is currently vacant, and he also has some porn there if I want to come and spend the day with his 9-inch rod. The fucking hypocrisy of the hypocrisy of it all. Like, I know why Sean got so upset. I was in shock and began cursing him out via text. His wife read my messages and she interpreted them as me coming on to him and him rejecting me. No, she didn't. Listen, look, man. Somebody asked me, how do I have this knowledge about, and I think it was in your last video about this, and I'll tell you this. Doing the work I did, director of security, dealing with shoplifters and thieves. There's nothing worse than a thief. Okay, and everybody steals. So when you catch every of them, okay, and you see the patterns here. And I will tell you this about Arabs or even just Muslims, okay, they lie. They lie incessantly. They don't stop lying. They lie. It's so easy how quick they fucking lie. It doesn't matter the amount of evidence. We had this guy, Muhammad was his name. Simple shoplifting that he started fighting with us, just flying around, and we're rolling around with this guy, and he's all cut up, not because we beat him up, because we fight with him and doing it to himself. Then we get him back to the office, and he literally starts beating his head on the wall, all on video. Okay, denies it, hires lawyers, the whole nine yards. Okay, as we're in looking at the video, is him playing of him stealing. No, look like this, won't even look at it, yelling no. The wife's in court yelling no. It don't matter what you show these fucking people. You know this, Layla. It doesn't matter. It could be videotaped with God, Allah as a witness. No, they'll just fucking flat out deny it. It's like something you've never seen before. Their ability to just flat out deny shit right in front of them. I'm telling you, that's how I know. And when doing what I did for 20 years, you know you learn the worst of everybody and you see it. So that's where a lot of this knowledge comes from and my ability to do what I do. She knew damn well it was him coming on to her, but she will just go with whatever fucking narrative she needs to keep the fucking lie going. She told my mom I overheard the conversation, but my mom acted like nothing happened. She allowed her sister to come over and humiliate me. Her sister wouldn't listen to a word I said. She accused me of wanting to fuck her old husband, and that I think I'm something special. My mom just stood there and said nothing. I had evidence on the phone of the conversation between me and him, but no one cared. You know, I'm surprised as punishment they didn't allow the husband to rape you, because that's usually how that works. Later on, when his wife asked him what happened, he, like the spiritualist, said Layla is like my daughter. I would never do such a thing. Ugh. This is just a misunderstanding. Layla is the one that was asking me inappropriate questions like, how does a fish get impregnated? I said, what the fuck would I ask him that for? I never asked him that. If I want to know anything about sex, I can Google it. He had no evidence of me asking that, but I had streams of messages from him. I told my mom to get me a meetup with him face to face, and I will expose everything because I have actual evidence, not conjecture. She ignored me. Of course she did, because you're not going to prove anything to them. Layla, honey, they're just trying to get you to go along and be silent. They want you to be a part of the dysfunction. She ignored me. She kept saying, I will, but a year went by, nothing at all. That man kept coming to our house, coming to family gatherings, getting respected, acting like nothing happened. My mom did nothing. His wife was getting around telling the family how evil I was. I tried to tear her marriage apart. I was 19 years old. No one believed me. No one even allowed me to fight for myself. My mother acted like nothing happened. I was being publicly bashed and humiliated. I became so depressed I decided to kill myself. I wrote a suicide note apologizing for being born, and I took a bunch of pills. Waiting for death, everything began to look like a movie. People were coming in and out of my room wondering what was going on. A couple hours later, for some reason, I threw up everywhere and the pills came gushing out. I was taken to the hospital. The aunt, her husband, the public humiliation didn't hurt as much as what my mother did. Years later, when I confronted her, her reaction was, Layla, had I allowed you that meeting, he would have divorced my sister. Oh, fuck you. You know what? This is his fourth marriage. It's all about protecting the cult. This is why, okay, you can't have this culture into the Western world, okay? This is why. This is what you will have living amongst you. This is when I say third world peasant cultures, okay? And this, in Layla, is not a peasant. They have, like, it's obvious they got money. But they keep the peasant culture about them. This shit, it's rampant. It's rampant. Better for you to kill yourself than her fucking sister get divorced? Really? Over the husband trying to fuck you? Like, really? Really? This is religion? This is a fucking religion? You going to tell me the men are the worst in that religion? Are they really? Are the men the worst in Islam? Her kid would have been in a broken home. If you had shown your evidence and confronted him, he would have had no place to hide. He would have never have come back from that embarrassment, and he would have left my sister. This is why they need you married. This is why they need you married, Layla. Because as long as you're unmarried, they got to deal with keeping you shut up. They got to deal with keeping you shut the fuck up. Oh, no wonder Charlene's like, my sister begged me for the sake of her kids to not allow this meetup, and I couldn't say no to her. I just couldn't. You shouldn't have been speaking to him in the first place. All men are like that. My sister begged me for the sake of her kids. So, Layla, like I said before, when she knew it at the time when she blamed you what the truth was. Just like the shoplifters who are looking at themselves stealing on, it's stealing. All men are like that. I tried to kill myself over this incident. No one even flinched. No one took any responsibility. So when you said in the video she knew what she was doing, she served me up and allow it, you kept repeating it like you were drawing energy towards it. You were right. Yeah, that's why it's still drawing energy towards it, because you have to understand she's doing it all on purpose. What made me tolerate so much? In fact, tolerate is the wrong word. What made me endure so much was treating all these incidents as separate coincidences, that they were not interconnected, rather separate and no one's fault but the predators. But the reality is my mother enjoyed it. She had a miserable existence. She suffered, and now, like the true sadistic narcissist she is, she wants her daughter to go through the same thing. After all, misery loves company. You are 100% right about the culture. In fact, just as you published my story, a story hit the headlines here in England about a teenage girl who was ordered by her village council to be raped because allegedly her brother raped the neighbor's 12-year-old daughter. No trial for the boy who apparently raped the girl's neighbor girl, though. Instead, go rape his 16-year-old sister instead. Everyone keeps these crimes hush-hush. But a few years ago, before Malala got shot in the head for wanting to go to school, another Pakistani girl, Mukhtar Mai, was ordered by her village council to be raped publicly because apparently her brother had whistled or made a comment about the wealthy landowner's daughter who lived down the street. She was a virgin, but ordered to be publicly raped, one, by different members of the wealthy family. By different male members of the wealthy family, and then made to walk naked back to her home. She went to the police, but in places like Pakistan and India, you can purchase justice using cash. Police did nothing. Coincidentally, there was a foreign journalist at the police station that saw her and began speaking to her. She told her story, and this later on made international news, and she is now a woman's human rights activist in Pakistan. In places like Pakistan, we are the currency, women, our bodies, our virginities. We are traded left, right, and center. In fact, putting Pakistan aside, even my black ex, whose video I showed you, lied for 1 year so he can have one night with a virgin. And then when he took it, he went back to his black wife. Growing up, we were always told white people are dirty, they eat swine, they drink alcohol, they fornicate. And you know, Ollie, the first thing men from the East be it Pakistan, India, or Africa, or the Middle East do when they come to England? Look for a white girl. Chase after white women. Germany allowed a ton of Syrian refugees over. They're not all Syrians. Most of them aren't Syrians, and that's why it's rape central over there. Germany allowed a ton of Syrian refugees over there, and the first thing the men did, go rape every German woman they saw. If people want to help any refugees, help the kids or women who are the real victims, not just of a war, but of the male god complex that is beaten into them. I know firsthand of the Syrian refugee who came over to Germany, and he confided in some mutual male friends of how much he wanted to fuck a German woman. People here need to discern and understand our culture is totally different to their culture there. Thinking everyone around the world is like us is not only naive, but extremely twisted. You know, Ali, at 13 years old, I was sent to Pakistan due to the trauma at home. I began acting out in school and getting into fights. My parents sent me there for the summer instead of figuring out why I was acting out. They wanted me to vanish. I remember walking in very busy town there. It was so busy that it was normal for people to bump into you when you rub shoulders. As I was walking, some Pakistani man in his early 30s came parallel to me and began rubbing me between my legs. It lasted for about 6 seconds, and if you were standing near us, it would look like this dude is just trying to get past me. You would only notice what he was doing if you looked down to see where his hands were. I was in shock and pushed his hand away. He swung his arm back and I got away. But in busy little towns like that over there, little girls go missing every single day and later on are found gang raped by men twice their age. Or they're never even found. Men sit on the sides of streets, daring each other to go grope a woman walking by, or go pinch her ass. It's a game to them. Even that Pakistani dude, my parents were forcing me to marry. I went onto his Facebook page, and guess what, Ollie? He has about 2,000 British white women as friends. Let me correct that for you. He has about 2,000 guilty white British women as friends, and underneath their pictures, he was calling them beautiful and sexy. This is a dude that can't even speak a full sentence in English. And when I showed my parents, they said, so what? All men flirt. As you said, they wanted to offer me up to him and do whatever he wanted. It wasn't that he was flirting, and he was trying to make some connections with women in my area here in England. So when I marry him and he comes over, he can have some side pieces ready. These are uneducated men who have been segregated from women from an early age with the understanding that gender mixing causes promiscuity. No. The more you separate, the more you want it. It becomes a fantasy. The young British or American woman my age are absolutely sick of this. The only ones who don't see the harmful effects are the ones who have accepted their inferior position and see the man as God, and they themselves must be obedient to him at all costs. How was my grandfather any different than those village councilmen? He wasn't. He hated his mother-in-law so much he swore to get revenge on her by taking a third wife and making her daughter suffer. And now me and my generation are the ones suffering due to his fucked up decision. Women are the currency. My black ex, since you know his channel, all he talks about how black is best, black is superior, white people benefit from white supremacy, and are the enemy, and how black men are the pinnacle of manhood. Was it a black man who stole my virginity under false pretenses? It's in fact classed as sexual abuse to have sex with someone under false pretenses. It's all bullshit. From 18 years old to even now, I have begged my parents to let me move out. In their culture, the daughter has to go from her father's home to her husband's home. She is not allowed to live alone and have her own identity. In her father's home, the husband's home, then the son's home where the daughter-in-law looks after her. No home of her own. How fucking convenient, huh? My father even has an apartment he has registered as me staying there, so he can get a council tax reduction and get some rent money, as in England, working part-time means you get those things from the government. So they have money and they're still scamming the government. Bring them in. Bring them all in, right? So he's registered me as staying there and gets full benefit from that. I begged him, can I please go stay there? My mom said our honor does not allow it. Right? Does my honor allow me to get passed around on men's laps like you allowed me? Well, fuck your honor. There is no honor. There are no, the rules only apply to you. How convenient. They don't have to live up to any of these honor rules, though, do they? Do they? The narcissist never has to live up to their own honor rules. As soon as I talk about moving out, I get passive-aggressive threats made, and I think you're right, Ollie. They are worried people will question why I left, and everything will fall like a house of cards. I think the only way is to run away and do it in secret. Yeah, Layla. Yeah. I know how dangerous my father is. He has paid people to do some unsavory things before, had people beaten up, etc. And this is a matter of honor. I just know I can't do this anymore. Nothing ever goes right here around these people. Even if I introduce friends to them, friends I've known for years, seriously, the next day, me and those friends will get into argument over nothing. It's like they drain the energy out of everything, and now they are draining the energy out of me. Thank you so much for everything. You really connected the dots for me and the people who commented. You made me see the situation for what it is. Forever grateful. Layla. So you're still in their house because you're living by honor rules only you have to follow. You know the answer. You said the answer. You got to leave. You got to leave in secret, and you got to not look back. And my suggestion, if you have any way to get out of the country and move to America, do it. Because England's up in the air which way it's going to go with all this migration shit. And you need to get away from this. And you know that. So, thank you. Thank you for... I don't even know if you wanted this into a video or not, but it needed to be. Now I know why Charlene was so upset. You guys got very similar stories, so. The currency. You're not currency, but that's how the culture treats you. You're living by the narcissist's honor, and they have none. Their honor rules only, the narcissist's honor rules only apply to you, not them. So, thank you again for your story. Thank you, Angel, for sponsoring it, and thank you, Layla, for laying it all out there. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comments section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video just like this for someone who can't afford it and needs help, or you just want to sponsor the channel in general, see it grow, expand, new equipment, keep the lights on and the rent paid, because this channel is sponsored by, well, not anymore. AdSense is back on, but it's still for the time being, funded 100% by contributions from people like you. It succeeds or fails from you. So you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. And for some reason you're still unclear, wait for the instructional video link to pop up on the screen at the end of this video to walk you through all that. And if you're not seeing it, it's good to have your pop-up blocker on. Please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance.